Call of Duty 2025 is Black Ops 7. According to all of the leaks that we've had, it is going to be the next installment in the Black Ops series, made by Treyarch, and will include multiplayer, campaign, zombies, and Warzone. But because it's so close to the release of Black Ops 6, literally it's the next game, how will it fare up and how good will it be? Will it be much different because Treyarch surely are spending their time developing BO6, and by the time this game's life cycle is finished, and Treyarch have done making all of its DLC or seasonal content, BO7 will release a month or two after. How will Treyarch find the time to continue making content for BO6 and make a brand new game at the same time? But apparently, according to these leakers, that's what's happening. Black Ops 7 is being developed by Treyarch, not Infinity Ward, not Sledgehammer. Well, there's a story behind that, but Treyarch themselves, which I think already tells us something about the game. I could be wrong here, but just like Modern Warfare 3, that game was in the exact same situation, where it was essentially DLC for MW2, but put out as a brand new game. Don't hold me to this, it's just my conspiracy, but Black Ops 7 could be DLC for BO6, but Activision are going to market it and put it out as a new game instead. And just in case anyone's wondering, isn't it a little bit early to be talking about the next Call of Duty game? The answer is no. If you've been around long enough, you will know this is the time we start getting information about it. So anyway, getting into the actual leaks themselves, because we not only have some new stuff, but since the release of Black Ops 6, I haven't covered the next COD on my channel at all. I've wanted to fully focus on that game, so there's some information that I want to catch up on as well, but it's reportedly going to be set in the year 2030 and will be a direct sequel to Black Ops 2. In regards to the multiplayer, it will have a mix of remastered BO2 maps and some new ones as well, along with updates to the Omni movement system, Pick 10, and round-based zombies maps. The Ghost of Hope tweeted, "This is how wall running will look in Black Ops 7. It's basically more realistic than BO3. So right now in Black Ops 6, we have Treyarch's new movement system, which is Omni movement, where you can run or slide or dive in different directions. But of course, Treyarch have got to find a way to improve this in their next game. And so it seems along with that, they're adding a new Omni movement feature where you can wall run, which isn't new. We have been able to do this before in Black Ops 3, but this time it's going to be more realistic. In BO3 it was pretty much boost jumping, but you could also wall run at the same time. I'm guessing in BO7 there are no jetpacks, you can't boost jump, but somehow you can wall run. Because the game's set in the near future, maybe there's some futuristic boots that will allow you to stick to the wall for a few seconds, or maybe soldiers in that year are just that advanced that they've learned to wall run normally without any assistance, but I could definitely see this was the way it was going. I think they could have just stuck with the same movement system we see in BO6, but it does look like they're adding wall running as well, which for me, I don't play multiplayer anymore. One of the reasons I stopped was because of advanced movements like this that we saw in Black Ops 3 or Advanced Warfare, Infinite Warfare. I didn't like it, that just totally put me off, and I never really got back into it, so I doubt I'll be playing MP in this game. As for zombies, well, just like we saw in Black Ops 3, boost jumping wasn't a thing in that mode, besides from the odd option to use it now and again, like the wall running in the Pack-a-Punch area on Shadows of Evil, or the wall running area in the Crypt in Horizon Draka or Revelations, but wall running wasn't a part of the normal gameplay like it was in MP, so for the zombie side in Black Ops 7, there's all the chance that you're just not going to be able to wall run in that mode. I will say though, if you are able to wall run in zombies, I think that's the biggest shake-up Treyarch could do to the mode. Sledgehammer and Infinity would have done it with their zombies modes, but we've never really seen it fully implemented in a Treyarch zombies game. So whilst I say I don't like wall running or boost jumping in Call of Duty, I think I'm kind of at the point now where I wouldn't be totally against us seeing it in zombies. I'd be intrigued to see how it would work and if it would freshen up the gameplay a little bit. But at the same time, it could totally ruin it, to the point where it no longer feels like a Treyarch Zombies game. Some of the leaks that I just never covered because I was focused on BO6 are from Fumio Leaks, where he released a whole thread regarding COD 2025, saying some silly goober managed to get into a focus group meeting for the next Call of Duty game. The thread will compile almost everything that was said in this meeting, plus a few little bonus goodies. So starting with the campaign, it is a Black Ops story that is set in the year 2035, they're saying here, whereas the previous post I read was in 2030. Perhaps it will take place between 2030 and 2035 in the space of 5 years or so. The protagonist this time is going to be David Mason, and the game is going to be more of an espionage theme, with a key point being informational warfare. Okay, nothing dramatic there. The second leak was regarding human shields. Multiplayer is going to keep the meat shield mechanics. Human shields will now be able to have grenades stuck to them. You can also throw bodies back at enemies. Omni movement returns in 2025. You can now do a little wall jump to get the advantage over your enemies. New animations are being added to make the experience more fluid. So that's what the Ghost of Hope has just spoken about. It seems like you'll only be able to wall run for 2 or 3 seconds max, making it more realistic compared to what we've seen, not changing up the gameplay too much, but adding a different element to it. I'm also guessing then, because in BO3 you could boost jump really high and wall run on some super high surfaces, you'll only be able to wall run maybe 1 meter above the ground max. Maybe if there's an obstacle in front of you, such as a car or a barrel, instead of going around it, it will come in handy for wall running over it. He also said multiplayer features the return of classic maps and modes for the Black Ops franchise, Uplink returns, so does Face Off, and the new gen staple gunfight. Perks are now shared with the network perks mechanic. But for zombies, being that it's a Treyarch game, 2025 will focus on round-based zombies, and it will have one of the biggest maps ever in this game. To compensate, there will be a transportation system like Transit to traverse around the map. Zombies also will have an 8-player mode. This may be related to the elite grief strings, as they also directly mention a classic mode. You'll spawn with a pistol, have to craft your armor, and hit the walls and box for new guns. Modes like Outbreak and Modern Warfare Zombies will probably not happen again due to their issues with the community. Round-based is taking the spotlight again, as I stated before. So that's a bunch of information regarding zombies in Black Ops 7. One, it looks like a mode such as Outbreak or what we saw in Modern Warfare Zombies is just not going to return again, and from now on Treyarch are just going to be focusing on round-based zombies. I can definitely see why they would do this, because you've seen the success of Black Ops 6, with the majority of players saying this is the best we've had in years. It's been received extremely well, and although Outbreak was popular and Modern Warfare Zombies at the time of release was extremely popular, a lot of people played it, but the reception, its reviews and feedback wasn't that high. However, round-based zombies is and always has been, really, besides from Vanguard. So it seems like from this point on, we're not going to be seeing anything like Outbreak or Modern Warfare Zombies again, unless they have no choice, unless they don't have enough time to develop a round-based zombies mode. Perhaps we'd see something like that, but it seems like from this point on, Treyarch want to only develop round-based zombies, and that's what we're going to be getting in Black Ops 7. He also tells us it will have one of the biggest maps ever. Now, this is interesting because he tweeted this out on October the 17th. Black Ops 6 released on the 25th of October, but the biggest round-based zombies map we ever had is Terminus. I'm pretty sure it's not Transit, it's Terminus, right? So now we're being told Black Ops 7 will have an even bigger map that will have its own transportation system, like Transit, to traverse around the map. That's also kind of what Terminus has. There's a boat that you can get on to go around. I will just say, I'm very skeptical about this, just because we heard the exact same thing for Black Ops 6. We were told that we would be getting Transit 2.0 essentially. That never happened. That's not what Terminus is. We are basically being told the exact same thing here. For that reason, I'm not convinced, but hypothetically speaking, this is something I would be interested in. I mean, at the end of the day, I'd just take a Transit 2.0. Give me a Transit remake at this point, make everything that was bad about that map good. Just give us Zombies Chronicles 2. He also told us that zombies will have an 8-player mode, which may be related to the grief strings, as they also directly mention a classic mode. Again, all of this we heard for BO6, it never turned out to be true. Grief has been in the strings of every Treyarch game since it released back in Black Ops 2, so that's nothing to really look into. The classic mode leakers told us we were getting for BO6, that never happened, so I'd be very wary believing it for BO7 as well. And as for the 8-player mode, that's something you would expect for Outbreak or a Modern Warfare Zombies mode, but we've been told we are only getting round-based. So again, I'm not sure what's going on with that. And the fact that he says you'll spawn in with a pistol and have to craft your armor and hit war weapons and the mystery box for new guns, well, that would go along with the classic mode, right? We don't do that in zombies anymore. You spawn in with your loadout. Spawning in with your pistol is something of the past. So I could be totally wrong here. Maybe I just don't want to believe it, but there's like 99% doubt in me for this. I don't think any of that's true, because we've been getting so much conflicting information. Just going back 2 months before this, in October, we had Margwa Network telling us that Outbreak would be returning for the next game, which was going to be Black Ops 7. However, we've just had this other leaker, Fumo Leaks, say Outbreak isn't going to come back. Who do you believe at this point? I'm not sure anyone really knows, and as always, you've got to take leaks with a grain of salt. Things can always change, so they could be true at the time, but Treyarch changed their minds later on. Who knows? I just wanted to give you guys the information that we have so far anyway, so there we go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, hopefully you've enjoyed the video. If you have, drop a like rating. Make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest content on the channel. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.